What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. Today it's Sunday, week 9. We have a fun slate of games going on today. We're going to hang out for the next half an hour or so and give you guys all of the questions you need answered. And we'll look at any of the inactives, actives, list all that good stuff here. But we'll go ahead and get your questions into the chat room. We'll get to them as soon as they come in. And good morning to Harris. And yeah, Dynasty Football, man, it is a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun doing the drafts next. I guess the NFL draft happens, and then all the dynasty drafts go on. So it's a fun part of the process. And yeah, dynasty leagues, man, it's just you got to get a good group of people together, and basically you're just gonna basically having these awesome rosters for as long as the league lasts. So pretty cool. Love dynasty leagues. But yeah, let's look at some of the player inactives today. I don't think there's too many things that we were needing. I think for the most part, I've been getting a lot of Isaiah Likely questions, and I'm gonna probably lean into saying start Isaiah Likely more so. There's probably only like 4 or 5 tight ends that I would start over Isaiah Likely, and yeah, because it's Monday night, we kind of already know Mark Andrews probably not going to play, even if he was going to surprise play. I still think it's going to be Isaiah Likely. He's probably the number 2, number 3 tight end on the week. If you don't have, basically, if you have Travis Kelsey, you're good. Otherwise, any other tight end is fair game to use Isaiah Likely over. So that's how we'll go with that. But otherwise, let's look at a couple things here. I'm just refreshing my Twitter feed. Christian Watson's going to play for the Packers, so that's interesting. He's gonna help hopefully open up the passing game for them. Tre'Davious White's not playing for Buffalo today. James Robinson will play. He was added to the injury report the other day, but looks like he's good to go. Harris is asking Kenyon Drake or Devin Singletary. So I'm open to Kenyon Drake having a good game. The thing that worries me is the matchup. It's pretty tough going up against New Orleans in New Orleans, but we expect the Ravens to run the ball a ton. I think I'm going to go with Devin Singletary. It's a game against the Jets where they're probably picked to win by what, like 11 points, I think, right now. So I'm going to lean with Devin Singletary. I'm not sure how much Naheem Hines is going to be used. So I do like, and you have Lamar Jackson. Okay. Well, I don't know if that matters. I don't love starting a running back with my quarterback. So I still think Devin Singletary is probably the better play. I would expect the Bills to score more points than the Ravens. So I think I'm going to say Devin Singletary is probably the safer play, but I get it. If you want to hedge your bets, we could see the Ravens just run the ball a lot. I don't think it's a great matchup for the Ravens running the ball. I mean, I should look and see what the Saints have been doing to running backs. The New Orleans Saints. Let's see here. The Saints are pretty good against the running back. I'm not expecting a huge game from Kenyon Drake. Basically, it's like who's going to catch the touchdown or run the touchdown in. I'm going to go with Singletary in this one. Good morning, Jason. Dion or Palmer? Whew. So I've been struggling with Dion Jackson. It is not a good matchup for the Colts running against the Patriots. The Patriots have only allowed 2 touchdowns all year to the running back, 1 rushing and 1 receiving. They allow a fair amount of yards, but we're hoping that Dion can catch enough passes in PPR formats to help us. But I think for your sake here, there's just no healthy receivers, going on in LA. So I'm leaning towards Josh Palmer probably being the better option here. I think he can be a top 30, top 40 play at the position. So I like Josh Palmer more. We know the Falcons have, and essentially, like you're asking yourself, like the Falcons allow the most points to wide receiver, so that's where Palmer's playing. And then Deion Jackson going up against the Patriots, they allow the fewest running back points. So I think I'm going to lean with the matchup there, go with Josh Palmer. And if that's PPR, I feel good about Palmer at least getting 4 or 5 catches. I feel a little bit safer with Josh Palmer, I believe. Herbert and Eckler. Well, that's a different stack, man, because Herbert just dumps it off to Eckler all the time. That's essentially having a wide receiver quarterback stack. So that one feels pretty good. Whereas Kenyon Drake, they don't throw the ball enough in Baltimore, so it's a little bit different dynamic there. But I'm going to hit refresh on my feed and see if we got any more news and notes coming through today. Couple inactives today. Darren Waller not playing. The Lions are going to be without Josh Reynolds. Zach Moss not playing for the Colts. So I guess the Colts did call up like Philip Lindsay and things like that. I don't know if that matters for Deion Jackson. And then we got Matt Milano out for the Bills. It looks like Alan Lazard's going to play, as well as David Bakhtiari and Elgton Jenkins. So the Packers offense getting healthier here this week. That's good news. Trade Marquise Brown for Hunter Renfrow and Sky Moore Dynasty PPR. No, you're going to want to keep Marquise Brown. I mean, with the addition of Kadarius Toney, that kind of squashed things for Sky Moore. He's not being able to find the field. I don't have good vibes for that. I think Marquise Brown's a huge asset. Let me see how old Marquise is. I think Marquise is still like 25, 26 years old. So keep Marquise Brown. Yeah, he's only 25, man. He turns 26 in June of next year. So keep Marquise Brown. He's the clear stud of that group, and he's playing in a fun offense. And I know DeAndre Hopkins is there, but who knows how long DeAndre Hopkins has left in the tank, maybe 2 years of top tier football. So keep Marquise Brown on that roster. Let me look and see if we got any other major news. So we know for the Washington Commanders, J.D. McKissic's not playing, Jahan Dotson's not playing. I would expect the Commanders' offense to be able to have a nice game today. I'm thinking Antonio Gibson's a must-start RB2. Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, those guys should be in your lineups this week. I haven't gotten a lot of DeAndre Swift questions, but I'm officially nervous about DeAndre Swift. I'm trying to find the tweet that I saw this morning. But I don't think if you have DeAndre Swift, I would consider benching him. The report that I saw this morning did not look great. Ian Rappaport says the Lions plan to make Swift active today, but he'll likely be used sparingly. They'll be careful with his playing time. So, I might prefer playing Deion Jackson over a guy like DeAndre Swift. So questions like that, let me know if you have them. Trade Brandon Cooks for Sky Moore Dynasty. I'm not in love with the Sky Moore. I guess if you love him, that's one thing. But I don't think Sky Moore is a special player at this point. We've seen enough of him, and he's just hasn't been able to come through. So keep Brandon Cooks. How much playing time for Toney? So that's the interesting part of this question is, I mean, the Chiefs are favored to win by 12 points tonight, guys. So we might not see them have to do too much. Maybe you see Kadarius Toney get in sparingly in the first half, and then maybe they put him out in the second half more. Keep in mind he's learning a new playbook, so I would expect, maybe anywhere from 10 to 20 snaps and a handful of routes here. I don't think he's going to do anything too crazy. Maybe they put him out on punt returns and kick returns or something like that too. So if you have Kadarius Toney, I don't think we're using him in fantasy this week. Let's let him get his legs underneath him and get into the offense and see how he looks first. I think that's the first thing with Kadarius Toney. Excuse me. Swift or Singletary PPR. I'm probably going to go with, I think I'm going to go with Devin Singletary in this one. All the signs point to DeAndre Swift like having he didn't really have a setback last weekend, but I just don't like that they have scaled him back. And if he doesn't catch a touchdown last week, like we did not have a good week. So it's essentially, I think Singletary's the safer play. I'm going to go with Singletary. I know he's going to be on the field a lot more too, more volume, more touches. That's typically how I make my decision. So I'm going to go with Singletary in that one. Good morning to Aiden. Pick 2 PPR. Kirk, Juju, Lazard, Dobbs, Hardman. So I think the one that sticks out is Christian Kirk. Like Christian Kirk has a really, really good matchup today. The Raiders are one of the worst teams defending the slot receiver. So Kirk, I expect him to get back into our good graces today. So he's the one that I like the most. And then the other ones, it's kind of hard. Like Alan Lazard's got the shoulder thing. Juju's been playing really well. The 2 games before the bye week, he had touchdowns. I think he had back-to-back 20-point PPR days. So I'm leaning towards Juju right now. I'm just looking at the Titans and seeing how good they are against wide receiver. The Titans are pretty bad against receiver, so I think it's pretty safe to say Kirk and Juju are probably your safest plays. I do like the Packer plays, but if I say Lazard, Dobbs could have just as good of a game. So to me, it's a little bit more of a risk taking those guys. And then with Hardman, I'm nervous about Hardman losing playing time to Kadarius Toney because their skill sets translate really closely. So I'm going to say Kirk and Juju are your best guys. Tua or Kirk Cousins? So I'm slightly nervous about Kirk Cousins today. And the reason is, one, it's a road game. And I know Tua's on the road too, but Kirk Cousins, he does historically struggle on road games. And then the other thing too is they really haven't played a defense like Washington. Washington is one of the better teams stuffing the run. and Washington's one of the best teams at generating pressure, even just with 4 down linemen. So I think Kirk's going to probably be under pressure today. He does probably throw a touchdown, maybe two. But I'm thinking Tua Tagovailoa is your guy at Chicago. I feel safer with him. I like Tyreek and Waddle. Those are good options to have. Gabe Davis or Juju? Okay. So this is the advice I've been giving on Gabe Davis all season is if you have Gabe Davis in basically you're going to leave him in your lineup and expect, anywhere from that, so his bad games are what, 2 for 25, but his great games could be, 4 for 90 and 2 touchdowns. So I think he presents a huge range of outcomes and I don't want to miss any of the big games. So I do like Gabe Davis, but on the flip side of this is they're playing the Jets today in New York. I'm not sure if Sauce Gardner is going to be, rotating time with Diggs and Gabe Davis, and it's hard to project that. So I think for this one, I'm going to take the safe play with Juju. I think Juju against the Titans, Sunday Night Football. I think at home you're going to want to go with Juju. But if you can afford the risk, I can see Gabe Davis having a big game, but again, his floor games have not been very good. I'm going to go with Juju in this one. Let me hit refresh on my feeds here, see if anything else is going on. Any wild predictions for the day? I'm excited to see TJ Hawkinson with his new team, the Vikings. We'll see how much he gets involved today. Do you think Demarcus Robinson will be good for the rest of the year? I saw something where Demarcus Robinson popped up on the injury report. I don't love it. The Ravens do have their bye next week. So say they come off their bye. Of course, their top receiver is Mark Andrews. And then after that, it's likely it's Devin Duvernay. So, he's kind of the fourth receiver to me on that team. I'm fine with Demarcus Robinson, but I just think he's like in a 12-man league, like he's the last player on your bench. I don't think we're ever going to feel comfortable starting him. But I'm open to that changing. So if you want to hold, holding on to Demarcus Robinson for today and for over the bye week, I don't know if that's a great move, but I'm open to it. I don't feel he's kind of like the number 4 receiving target there to me. Let me see. What do we expect from Cordero Patterson today? I think if you guys have Cordero Patterson, you're going to want to try and get him in your lineups today. He's getting one of the best matchups of the year going up against the Chargers. So to me, if you do have Cordero Patterson, you're going to try and find a way to get him in there today. Let me see what else we got. So the Darren Waller inactive thing, if you guys need a tight end late, I suppose Foster Moreau could be of interest to you guys. The matchup against the Jags, the Jags have been pretty good, though, against tight end. They've only allowed 1 touchdown all year, so it's not a smash matchup. So I guess if you're waiting on Foster Moreau, I might look elsewhere. Knox or Everett, non-PPR. With the lack of weapons available for the Chargers today, I'm going to go with Gerald Everett. I feel good about his volume. He could be – Eckler's probably going to lead the team in targets. I can see him having another 10 targets or so today. But I think, between Palmer and Everett, I expect those two guys to be very busy today. So I will go with Gerald Everett. And then, I do like I do like Dawson Knox. He's been playing better lately. I'm just looking to see what the Jets have been doing to the tight end position. The Jets, kind of middle of the road, but they are one of the few teams that have not allowed a touchdown to the tight end. So I think I'm going. They do allow a lot of points, though, a lot of receptions and yards. But I'm gonna lean with Gerald Everett. I think he's got a better matchup going up against the Atlanta Falcons today. Let me hit refresh on my feed, see what else we got going on today. And yeah, we got through the official actives. Damian Harris is officially inactive today. So Ramondre Stevenson is set up to smash again today at home against the Colts. I think he's a top 5 running back play. But wow, Ramondre's been he's been tearing it up. He's been one of the best running backs in the league so far this season. So no Damian Harris. Let me see what else we can find here. Yeah, it's been a pretty easy Saturday or pretty easy Sunday. There's not too many game time decisions or things that we needed for our fantasy lineups. But if you guys have any more questions, fire them up. Otherwise, I'll get out of here early. Let me see. Still rocking Palmer over Swift and Pittman. I think so. To me, the matchup's too good to ignore. The Falcons cannot defend receivers, and Josh Palmer, to me, he's probably like a solid wide receiver, like a 2 wide receiver. He's probably a top 20, top 25 receiver today. So that's where I'll sit. And then Isaiah Likely. Again, if you have Travis Kelce, like he's the one tight end that you're probably starting over Isaiah Likely today. Otherwise, I mean, it's the one game where Mark Andrews is out. You got to take advantage of this. Like if you have Zach Ertz, Everett, Hawkinson, Higbee, like all these guys, I'm playing Isaiah Likely over. So basically, it's Kelsey or Likely. Those are the top two tight end plays I think this week. After this week, do I keep Likely and try to trade him or drop him? I mean, you're probably not going to have a huge trade market for Isaiah Likely because people know Mark Andrews is coming back. I would rather, again, he's got the bye week, so if you can afford to hold on to him over the bye week, I'm open to that because I think if he goes out and smashes on Monday Night Football, like he's their second best receiving weapon. So that should open things up for him down the stretch after the bye week for the rest of the season. So I think he's probably a guy that I'd try to hold. I mean, if you can trade him away for a team that needs a tight end, sure, go ahead and do that. But I kind of view him as more of a wide receiver than I do at tight end. And the fact that we can start him at tight end is pretty valuable. So I do like Likely for the rest of the season. And who knows with Mark Andrews banged up? Like, I mean, if he re-aggravates anything or gets hurt again, like Isaiah Likely is a top 3, top 5 tight end potential the rest of the season. So I think he's got some pretty good value going forward. But I'm trying to think. The weather should not be a big factor today. I'm actually looking. I'm going to the weather report right now to see if anything's going on. I thought there was some rain out west today. Let me see. No weather problems today. It looks like everything's going to be good. We got a couple dome games today. I think that Chargers Falcons game is going to be one you want to attack in DFS. So, like, if you guys are setting DraftKings lineups or anything, I think the Falcons Chargers game is going to be pretty high scoring. I think the Lions Packers will be high scoring, and then I'm super excited about the late game, the Seahawks and the Cardinals. I think that could be a really fun game with the NFC West potentially shifting tides there. But if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to get out of here for the day. Again, you guys can always reach me on Twitter, comment the video, or reach out to me, I guess, on TikTok or something like that. But good luck today, guys. I will see you later in the week. I hope you guys get all your fantasy W's in order. And yeah, good luck. We'll see you guys later. Peace.